Code Monkey get up, get coffee. Code Monkey go to job. Code Monkey have boring meeting with boring manager Rob. Rob say Code Monkey very diligent, but his output stink. His code not functional or elegant. What do Code Monkey think? Code Monkey think maybe manager wanna write login page himself. Code Monkey not say it out loud. Code Monkey not crazy, just proud. Code Monkey like Fritos. Code Monkey like Tab and Mountain Dew. Code Monkey very simple man. Big warm fuzzy secret heart. Code Monkey like you. Code Monkey like you.
What's new, Dino Dudes? It's me, the Media Raptor, and we're back with another episode of Reaction and Review with the Media Raptor. Excuse me. With the Media Raptor. It's the first episode of this R&R style in the 6th season of the Media Raptor Reviews, so I figured, let's do something I've been looking forward to. Something I actively put off being able to watch because I wanted to do it for this style of review, and frankly, I don't like buying digital movies. Regardless, I'm talking about the 2020 animated film, Mortal Kombat Legends: Scorpion's Revenge. I'm gonna take these off. I'm in my house. It's like 11 at night. Yeah, I don't know why I wear these sometimes when I'm downstairs. When it's like, regardless. This is an animated movie I have been super hyped for, and granted, most of the movies I've been hyped for have been cancelled or pushed back, so I'm really glad this one came out because it gives me something to watch. I don't have a lot to say about it, other than the fact that it's trying to make it very clear it's one of the R-rated Warner Brothers movies, and from the little bits I've seen from the Red Band trailer that was shown at Final Combat. Oh, quick side note, Sonic Fox, good going, man. Good going. Good going. They're my favorite esports fighting FGC circuit player. I was really happy to see them win. So, this is an animated movie based off of Mortal Kombat. You might not know this, but I'm actually a huge fan of Mortal Kombat. I know, I hide that fact so well. I know nothing else aside from what I've read on the back and what I've seen in the trailer, so I figured, you know what, rather than try and talk and, say what I want this to hold for the future, let's just watch the movie and talk about that later, because believe me, I am hyped to watch this. So, why don't we all just do ourselves a favor? Kick back, relax, and enjoy Mortal Kombat Legends: Scorpion's Revenge. I'll pour this in my drink now. Okay, there's already an issue with this movie. They made Scorpion's kid adorable and really likable and really charming, and it's gonna be really sad when he dies. Not if, but when. Okay. We are 6 minutes into this, and I'm pretty sure they've already broken the R rating. And yeah, they've been really pushing the envelope of what is good taste. And frankly, I love it. Oh, great. Kid's about to die. Why is it that for some reason I find the constant Anakin kills the youngling memes on r/prequel memes hilarious, and yet I'm genuinely horrified and feel really bad for what I know is about to happen to this kid? Am I a bad person because of that? Well, I was right. That is really, really hard to look at. That's just really sad. I don't even have a joke for this or anything. This movie is actually outdoing Mortal Kombat 11 in multiple regards. One, it has a coherent story. Two, Sonya Blade actually has a decent voice actor, or actress. And three, Raiden is not an idiot. In fact, he's somewhat intimidating. And, not gonna lie, I actually really like this incarnation of him. So, despite how he began in the movie, I really like Johnny Cage now. Like, took a minute for me to get used to his characterization in this, but I think he's great now. And I love the kind of retelling they're doing about the whole first story of Mortal Kombat. It's really good. Okay, so I'm disappointed that fight wasn't longer, but that fight with Sub-Zero and Scorpion was so wonderfully chaotic. It's great. Like, I'm kind of at a loss for words because I really, really am impressed with so much about this movie. The animation is such a unique style and such a great flow. I'll talk about it later, but man, that's just brutal and yet awesome. Huh. There's a misspelling in the credits. Huh. Anyhow, that was amazing. Like, I'm not even gonna act like, oh, you know, it was amazing. It really was. Now, I should probably say this up front. If you do not like Mortal Kombat, do not watch this. If you do not like gory content, do not watch this. But if you happen to like fun, anarchic, action-packed films with great fluid animation and a really chaotic fight style, this is going to be right up your alley. So, I'm going to be totally honest here. I've really always wondered why we haven't had these before. Because up until now, I've reviewed every single Mortal Kombat movie ever made. Because there's only been 2. And they're working on a new one, so I will review that when it comes out. But, yeah, this is probably the best Mortal Kombat movie we've ever gotten. Don't get me wrong. If you had to ask me right now what my favorite was, I would probably say the original Mortal Kombat film is my favorite. Mostly because it's so cheesy and fun. But my point is, if you wanted to watch a movie that was true to Mortal Kombat in the characters and the action, and especially in the gore, this is it. So, I feel like I can't really talk about a whole lot without spoiling a lot, but even then, the story is probably one of the best parts and maybe one of the weaker parts. It's interesting. Like I said throughout, this is very much a retelling of the very first Mortal Kombat game, which is why we only have Raiden, Liu Kang, Sonya, Johnny Blade, I'm tired, Johnny Cage, and Scorpion and Sub-Zero. Now that's not to say that other characters don't appear. We see Shang Tsung, Goro, Kitana, Nitara, Kano, all sorts of characters, Motaro, all sorts of characters that we haven't seen in the game in ages. There are so many great Easter eggs and fun references and nods to the games and to the mythology of this whole franchise. It's clear this was written by people who truly love this franchise. So, here's the thing though. Like what I talked about in the Thomas and the Magic Railroad review, when it's called Scorpion's Revenge, you'd kind of expect the whole movie to be focusing on Scorpion. And kind of his struggles in the Netherrealm, then commencing with how he comes back, him fighting in the tournament, and eventually him trying to, and succeeding, spoilers, in getting his revenge. Thing is though, since it's a retelling of Mortal Kombat 1 and part of Mortal Kombat 9, at least the first half, we follow multiple characters. And it feels like Scorpion doesn't get quite as much time as he should have. Granted, the writing is still great. It's funny. Some of the jokes did not land, in my opinion, but it's fun. It's very very well written. Like, that's the best way to put it. You will care for these characters, you get invested in the story. I think because it was called Scorpion's Revenge, I was kind of expecting more Scorpion action. Especially because, I'm just going to go ahead and spoil this, the fight with Sub-Zero is only about 2 minutes or so, and really I wished there was more because it was the best fight hands down in the whole movie. But I'm really not going to hold that against the film because really, when I go into ratings, I mainly care about entertainment. I'm not going to take away a Raptor Claw because, oh, this was misnamed. There's still more than enough Scorpion in here to justify it being called Scorpion's Revenge. Unlike, say, Batman Assault on Arkham, when Batman is barely in the movie, and it should have been called Suicide Squad Assault on Arkham. I haven't watched that one in ages. I should totally watch that again. I remember loving that one. Anyhow, let's talk about the characters. I'm going to start with the others. So, Liu Kang, Johnny, and Sonya. Each of them have good and bad to them. Johnny is hands down the funniest character in the movie, mainly because he's the only character who's actually making jokes. But I've never been a fan of the trope of you don't believe that this thing is really happening until somebody that kind of like beats it into you almost. I've never been a fan of that trope, and that's entirely how he acts for the first like half of this movie. Now, some of the jokes kind of tying into that are actually pretty funny, but it feels like it's so frequent and they do it so many times that it just kind of goes over and over, and you're kind of like, we get it. You don't think this is real. But, much like the games, they also have very, very well-written dialogue, which is, well, not, well-written by Mortal Kombat standards, that kind of helps him grow as a character. By the end, he does understand what's actually going on. Sonya, they mixed up her backstory a little bit. I'm not going to spoil it, but I think it's a really, really good twist on it. Granted, I don't know much about Sonya Blade's character. Maybe it was always the way it was, but frankly, it's just like a 20-second thing they add that actually adds a good amount of depth to her, and especially kind of helps shape why her character is the way she is. Liu Kang, I'm just going to say it, I've always had a problem with Liu Kang being kind of vanilla. Like, I get he's supposed to be the main character of these movies, and like of the whole franchise technically, unless you want to count Scorpion. He's more the poster boy though. Liu Kang has always been kind of boring. Now granted, in MK11 they definitely gave him more to do, and when he was a Revenant he had much more to do, but I've always kind of found him as human Liu Kang kind of boring because, he fights for the White Lotus Society. That's all I can tell you. Like, even in the first Mortal Kombat film, they at least gave him the motivation that his brother was killed. Like, here it's just, hey, I'm here too. That's all I got. But that's not to say he's a bad character. He's still entertaining. He's still very well written. He isn't unlikable. In fact, he's quite likable. They did add a bit to his personality. Now, something else I should bring up. You might be wondering, hey, is this character in the movie? Or is this character in the movie? Or do we see this character? We see a lot of characters in this movie. Characters like, Reptile, Kitana, like I mentioned, Nitara. They do not have a lot in the movie to do. Like, even with Baraka and Kano, they don't have massive roles in the movie. And that's definitely a good thing, because the movie is only 80 minutes long. I really wish it was longer. But if they tried to add more, it would have really kind of made this too confusing and too bloated. So, if you're here looking for certain characters, you might be disappointed. But overall, the writing, because I'm looking at this as a Mortal Kombat animated film, essentially a R-rated version of Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm. It's great. I really, really liked it. You know what helped with that? The voice acting. A number of the actors in this either played these characters before or were from Mortal Kombat 11. If I recall correctly, the guy who plays Scorpion played him in, I believe it was Mortal Kombat 9 and maybe 10? Steve Blum still plays Sub-Zero for the few lines he has, and, well, he does great because he's Steve Blum. I really like the woman they got to play Sonya Blade. I don't have her name off the top of my head. In fact, I just realized I should probably have checked that. One sec. I'm curious if I can just pull up to where I was or if I'm going to have to start over. Yeah, never mind. I'll just add it down below. The woman who plays Sonya Blade in this has a huge advantage over Ronda Rousey because she can actually act. They made Sonya much more emotional in a sense than we've ever seen her before, and it works because it makes her much more human. The guy who plays Johnny Cage nails it. I do like the guy who plays him in the games a bit better, but I think that's because I've been hearing his voice for like 10 years now, ever since Mortal Kombat 9. Well, not 10 years, but close to 10 years. You guys all know what I mean. The guy who plays Raiden, I really, really like him. I am pretty sure that might be the same guy, but who played him in MK11, I'm not totally sure. But part of that has to do with how they wrote Raiden. If you're ever hanging out on the r/Mortal Kombat subreddit, something you will see very frequently is people talking about how Dark Raiden was underused, or I must consult with the Elder Gods. Here, Raiden is very, very straight-faced, very serious, and it works. They just get the balance right. He has one or two little comedic relief lines, but mostly he is there to be the guardian, to be an elder god. He acts like it, he's treated like it, everything about him is great. Now, let's talk about the other characters like Shang Tsung, Quan Chi, Jax, and Kano. I really like the guy that got to play Shang Tsung in this. I kind of wish there was Terry... I'm going to mispronounce this so horribly, and I'm going to apologize for it in advance. Hiroki Takawa. I mispronounced that horribly. I'm so sorry. I really wish, the guy who played Shang Tsung in the first movie to voice him, but hey, you can't get everything, so it is what it is. Goro actually has very few lines, but what they did have, I really like it because he sounds close to what he does sound like in MK9 and X, but a bit deeper. Kano, it feels like he's missing a little bit of his Australian accent, and it might have more to do with his, the way he's designed. I'll talk about that in a minute. But they all do pretty good. If you were to ask me who was probably the worst voice actor in this, I would probably say Quan Chi. Only in a few scenes, though. The guy who plays Quan Chi, a number of his lines he absolutely nails. But then there are a few lines when he's supposed to be a bit more, panicked or maybe even a bit more angered. It kind of keeps the same personality the whole way through, so it kind of doesn't fully... I don't know, it just feels like maybe a second take may have been helpful. But there is no one in this movie that takes you out because they're that bad an actor. The guy who plays Jax sounds great for the little bit he's there. But by far, the best part about this whole movie is the animation. This is, I believe, by the same people that do all the DC animated films because it has the same character design style. And as such, it has all the benefits and trappings of the DC animated films. Namely, the animation is awesome. I love the colors. The designs are great. The character designs are great. Aside from Kano, he looks a little bit too normal, I guess. But that does mean some of the animation is still a little janky, especially when characters are more just walking. It has a bit of a stiff movement to it, which is funny because then when they start fighting, it is fluid, it is unique, it is stylized, and it is gory. Probably making stuff like Berserk look tame at times. This movie really does push the limits of what good taste is, of both taste, common decency. Well, not really, but this movie really pushes the whole R rating. It pushed it past breaking point even. Thing is, though, I loved it. The animation was the best part of the movie. It has such a unique style to it. Because it's funny, a number of times when the characters go from talking to fighting, it happens really quickly. But at no point does it feel like it's two separate animation styles that have clashed and are now trying to work together. It feels like, nope, it's just one seamless take into the next animation or into the next scene. And frankly, that's very commendable because, even some of the DC animated films, the animation was not 100% perfect. So, music, not much to say. It's got a pretty good rock, bit of techno. I really like the music they got in this, but it's not anything as great as the original Mortal Kombat theme, but, you know, what is. But it is definitely serviceable. Editing, actually. There's a lot of there's a lot of camera movements that I think are amazing because of like the way it will kind of continuously turn or sweep while a fight's going on. That would be awesome if it was in real life, but the fact that it's animated makes it just a little bit more amazing to me, at least, because I know how hard animation is. Like, I've tried animation in the past, I cannot do it. And the fact that it looks this good, this fluent, and this stylized, massive props. So, if you can't tell, I can't recommend this movie. No, I'm kidding. I totally recommend Mortal Kombat Legends Scorpion's Revenge. It earns, without a shadow of a doubt, a very solid 3.5 Raptor Claws out of 4. You know, a little bit of animation, a little bit of dialogue changes, and it would have been a 4 out of 4, but frankly, I love this. If you are a Mortal Kombat fan, you gotta check it out. And if you're new to Mortal Kombat and you are fine with gore, this is actually a pretty good place to start, because not only is it kind of an introduction to many of the characters and the way they are and fight in the games, but it also does have a brief recap at one point with the whole story about what the tournament is, and all that kind of cool stuff. And it hints at a sequel I really want to see, because my favorite Mortal Kombat character of all time is Shao Kahn, and this ends, spoilers, with Shao Kahn saying, hey, it's time to end this game once and for all. And it looks like he's going to invade Earthrealm. Please do that. Now, what would I want to see in future Mortal Kombat Legend films? Well, people have talked about maybe they should do like one movie for each character, you know, kind of have like Liu Kang, Mortal Kombat Legends, The Legacy of Liu Kang, or Mortal Kombat Legends, Johnny Cage, The Rising Star. I don't know. What I'd like to see, actually, I'd like to propose something different. Mortal Kombat Legacy, but animated. In an anthology. If you don't get what I'm saying, take this animation style, take these characters, and do what Mortal Kombat Legacy did, though. Make short stories, or in this case, short films, based on each character. And as the framing device, you could have Shang Tsung, or Raiden, or really anybody telling these stories about the legends of the Mortal Kombat warriors. And you don't have to just stick to the games, you could do whatever you want. You could show us how Outworld won 9 tournaments in Earthrealm, or even Outworld conquering Edenia, Chaos Realm, or any of the other realms. We could see Aaron Black's backstory. We could see Onaga's rise and eventual downfall. We could even see the One Being finally and what happened with the Elder Gods in that case. There is so much potential for future installments, and frankly, I'm just coming up with this stuff because I love this franchise so much. But you know what? Sometimes they say you have to put your best foot forward if you want to make a good impression. This thing puts both its best feet forward, looks at me, and then, I don't know where I'm going with this analogy. This movie's amazing and you should go watch it. So, yeah, I am very happy that I bought it. I'm very happy that I waited to watch it till now, and I am definitely going to watch it again. This is like the DC animated films. I can definitely see myself throwing this on and editing to it, or writing to it, or drawing, or doing all sorts of things, even working out at times. Or reorganizing my comics, going through all the Mortal Kombat ones I have. Yeah, like I've said a dozen times now, great film, great animation. If you like Mortal Kombat, you're gonna love it. So, with that being said, this has been the Media Raptor saying keep cool, and until... Okay, I messed up my intro. Wow, I really am tired. Until next time, this has been the Media Raptor saying keep cool, and I'll see all you dino dudes around. Good night. Or, actually, it's 1:08 in the morning, so good morning. Or good afternoon, or whenever you're watching this, you know what I mean. You know, I probably should not be eating sour Skittles before I try and go to bed, but I don't care. I like sour Skittles.